I'm Genevieve Pascolla. I have a BFA in photography from the American Academy of Art. Started drawing a lot when I was a kid, and where I grew up there wasn't much to do, so my mom gave me an old film camera, so I just wandered the backyard and take photos and kind of fell in love with it. I've always been interested in doing something creative. I never saw myself working in a cubicle. I think that learning film and darkroom, although it might have been a pain in the butt at the time, I now appreciate so much because, all of the other assistants have the same degree as me, but from different colleges, and they never did darkroom or stuff like that, and it really teaches you a lot about exposure. So it was nice that it was so traditional at the academy in that sense. So I learned a lot about that through the faculty. I've always been interested in not just photography, but drawing and history and just anything art related. So life drawing to me was a really cool class, and it's not something I would have ever done on my own. So I really loved taking that class, that and seeing at the end of the semester we did our first drawing compared to our last, and it was hilarious, but it was really cool to see your development. I'm a photo assistant / digital technician. Well, if I am on set, I'm the digital technician. So basically while we're shooting on body, so like live models, I'm on the computer and processing images as they're coming on and dealing with naming conventions, stuff like that. It's a really important position in the shoot. The shoot really can't go on without the digital technician because there's so much going on. But if I'm not digiteching, then I am on the floor. So I just do all kinds of random jobs, building sets, measuring sets, making diagrams for sets, counting equipment, renting equipment. Everything's photo related. So being in shape, it's not something that I ever really realized was such a big deal in the industry. I mean, I'm lifting 35-pound power packs and lugging them across a studio, and so that's important. But just learning the programs, because you do so many random things. Today I had to use Excel at work, which isn't something I ever thought I would do. So just you want to learn as much as you can. During college, I had to work a lot of jobs I didn't want to. It's just got to pay rent. So being in a field that's creative, and I get to learn every day about lighting and equipment and even producing stuff like that. I really enjoy it, and I don't take it for granted. It's really cool. Eventually with my career, I'd like to get involved in more fashion photography, more editorial, especially since at work, we work with I'm watching Nike on body all the time, and teching for Oakley or stuff, where you get to work with the models and there's a little more room for creativity. A lot of the shoots come pre-drawn out for us, and we're just following the client's, instructions. So I would like to get involved in something that there's more room for creativity. You could throw in a gel or something, So eventually, I see myself moving to the West Coast because that's a big industry out there. It's pretty big in Chicago, but I feel like you can only go so far, and there's a lot of opportunity out there. I started shooting punks and skins when I was probably 14. I had always been going to all these underground shows, and I just always thought this needs to be documented, because when I was young, I would look at magazines, old punk magazines and books, and I'd see all these really cool photos, and I'm like, that needs to happen still, because this is a scene that a lot of people think is dead, but it's still very active across the globe, and I just thought it was important to document this. I started getting known as that girl with the camera, so it's just why wouldn't I take photos at this show where there's a guy running around with a garbage can on his head? It was just such good photo opportunities everywhere. I just can't I couldn't imagine going and not bringing my camera. A memorable moment for me at the academy was when I was at Dunkin' Donuts, and one of the students from the academy that I've never met before came up to me and was like, "Hey, aren't you that girl that shoots punk stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, that's me." You know, I never really made these photos for anyone outside of the scene. It was just photos of my friends and my friends' bands, and you know, for someone that isn't involved to see some of your work and be interested in it was a pretty cool feeling. Definitely do as many internships, take any opportunity you can get. I'm so happy that I did. I mean, I didn't get paid for barely any of it, but you know, if someone says, "Oh, I need a video assistant for a day," do it. Like, take any opportunity you can, because you don't know what you're doing until you actually go out and do it. It's, you know, the kind of stuff that gets thrown your way you could never expect in school, so you have to go out and actually do it.